Fusion World community, welcome back to another video here with Kaiokris, and today we're going to go over the final deck for the new set 3 releases. I know the set's already been out. Actually, I have already recorded this video, and actually I did post it. However, it was posted with no sound, so I don't know how that actually happened. Looks like a mistake. However, recording this video again just to go over the yellow deck, the Majin deck that has come out for set 3. And again, this is an early concept. I know people have probably already started playing this deck a little bit, but I do think it's still good to have a concept for it, so people who maybe just now buying the cards, looking to build the deck, has a at least maybe a decent template to go off of. Now, as always, make sure you like and subscribe, and thank you guys for supporting the channel as we are clearing up to 2,000 subs here pretty quickly, which is very nice. Very, very nice. Most growth channel's had in a while since we switched to Fusion World, so I'm very excited for that. So first, the leader itself, it's an attack, draw 1. At the end of the turn, you get to play up to 1 battle card that has a cost of 2 or less, and Wicked Soul or Evil Wizard in their special trait, allowing you to free play battle cards that cost 2, which is very good, which allows you to set up better defenses and also just kind of play a little bit aggressive the next turn by being able to play out these cards. Now, one very important card before we get into the battle cards is this Bobbity Spaceship. It is a 2-drop field. On your turn, once per turn, when your Bobbity or battle card with the Wicked Soul and its special trait is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less, and it can't switch to active mode during your opponent's next turn. This is very solid, since at the end of the turn, your effects will go off first, meaning you can play your 2-drop, and you can stun a card. 4 cost or less is pretty good, and this affects almost everything that's playable currently, especially in black. This card's going to really hurt the black decks when you're playing against them. Now, 2 of the best targets to play off of this, you have the 2-drop Deborah and the 2-drop Bobbity. Deborah is a blocker. When it blocks, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards that cost 2 or less and switch it to rest mode, which is very powerful. I mean, this allows you to switch those pesky 1-drops to rest mode, as well as potentially another attacker. And then Bobbity is a 2-drop barrier. For those who don't know what barrier does, meaning it cannot be chosen by the skills of your opponent's cards, meaning you can't choose it for effects, to remove it, bottom deck it, reduce its power, whatever that is. Auto, when an opponent's battle card with a cost of 3 attacks, draw 1. Now, this is auto per limit on the card, so you can only do this once per turn on the card. However, if you have a second copy of this, that card will also trigger, allowing you to draw twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, however many of these you have. Essentially, once this card sticks, it's there until you want to combo it off, considering it's never going to be removed. Currently in set 3, we don't have any sort of removal for barrier, so this card is just going to sit there until you decide to remove it. One of the boss monsters for the set, this 3-drop Majin Buu, it is not a Wicked Soul, which is interesting. However, he is a Majin. 3-drop, he has barrier, again meaning he cannot be chosen by skills, and when he is KO'd, you might discard 1 card from your hand to play him in rest mode, essentially giving him infinite amount of lives, however, at a cost to 1 card in your hand, which isn't an awful thing, you know, just being able to revive him for 1 card, but it is going to cost you a card from hand, so that is something to keep in mind. Now, the true boss monster for this set is the 4-drop Majin Vegeta. I don't know why they didn't name him Majin Vegeta. I think they missed a little opportunity there. 4-drop, 25k. Activate main, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode that costs 3 or less, and KO it. Then switch this card to active mode. So you actually don't have to choose anything for the activate main. You can just choose nothing and then restand it. So it's a 25k dual attacker or 25k dual attacker that can remove 1 card. That is very strong, giving you a body that can essentially remove 3 battle cards technically if you're playing it correctly. And this is a Wicked Soul, so this would trigger the field spell among some of the other cards in the deck. Now, some interesting things about this deck is this archetype brings a lot of cool extra cards to the table. So one is Turn into Candy, which has 2 effects. One, if your leader is a Majin Buu, you can KO one of your battle cards to draw 2 cards, which is very strong. If an activate battle, you choose your leader or battle card and it gets 15k for the battle. So giving the leader giving you essentially an offensive and a defensive 15k. We have energy absorption. You choose one of your opponent's battle cards, switch it to rest mode, and it can't attack. It can't be switched to active mode during your opponent's next turn. Then, if that card is a 4-cost or more, draw 1 card. This might be one of the most powerful yellow extra cards we've seen so far. This is your counter to any of the big decks when they play those giant battle cards, especially green. You can essentially just lock down a card and draw a card off of it, so it replaces itself and stops a card from attacking, making this card very valuable. I would say this is going to be a must-have in this deck, but also into other yellow decks, because this is not just for Majin Buu leaders. And the last extra card we're going to talk about is Final Explosion. So this is a 3-drop activate main. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 3 or less, switch them to rest mode, then choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards that cost 4 or less in rest mode and KO them. So this gives you what the deck, and honestly what yellow in general needs, which is removal. Yellow lacks a lot of removal. They have a lot of abilities that tap down cards and even stun cards, but not really having removal. So this gives you at least a 3-drop answer to some of those pesky 4-drop battle cards, and also just being able to tap down a whole board of 3 or less, meaning if your opponent has a bunch of cards in active mode, you can tap them all down and then swing into them. Now that kind of does it for the archetype. The archetype is very small for the important cards. Now we will go over the deck profile and go over the concept. So here we have the Majin Buu deck. This is a 51 card list as per usual for my builds. We'll start with the 1-drop Yamu, which is a cantrip. Pretty simple card there. 4 of the new Deborah card that allows you to tap down a card, and also you can free play it off of your leader. 4 of the Babidi. This is the other Babidi that allows you to search top 5 for a Majin Buu or a Wicked Soul. So any Majin Buu or Wicked Soul cards, you can search out the majority of your deck and all the new cards from the archetype. 3 of the barrier Babidi, so allowing you to draw. This card is very good into red, very good into black, and even good into yellow for some sense. But blue and green, this is probably a dead card for the most part. Those 2 archetypes don't necessarily play a lot of 3-drops. They generally play 4-drops and above, or like 2-drops and below, right? They're not really playing the 3-drop spot. Blue has Vegito, and then if they're running the skillless package, I guess that would be considered a 3-drop. And then green really isn't playing any 3-drops. I think most of their cards are going to be 4-drops. So very easy for them to play around. But if you are playing against a black deck, yellow mirror, or red deck, slamming this card down is just going to allow you to draw at least 1 extra card per turn. We have 2 of this Poi Poi. This is another blocker 10k that can KO essentially one of your opponent's field spells that cost 2 or less. So this is actually really good. This is going to allow you to remove everything but the 2 green field spells. So you can remove the TOP, you can remove the field in this mirror matchup. You also can remove the black Bardock field, which is also very powerful. 3 of the Yakuns, or Yakan, whatever his name is. He is a 2-drop 10k blocker that also takes a life. Just needed for just more consistency with the archetype. 3 of the barrier Majin Buus. I didn't want to run 4 just because it is a 0k. We are running some other 0ks in the deck, but this is, I think, 3 is plenty. You're going to slam this card down, and then hopefully it's just going to stick on board for most of the game. But again, you do have to remember you are taxing your hand when you save this guy, so it just needs to make sense. 4 of this Deborah. This is a life-taking Deborah that plays a 2-cost Wicked Soul. So this also can allow you to trigger your field spell, but you can play a 2 or less, meaning you can play any of, it's 2 or less, right? Yes, you can play any of these guys here for free, which is pretty cool. 3 of the Majin Vegetas. 4 of the Super Saiyan Blue Goku. This is from last set. This is our stun lock card. So once we get to turn 4, if our opponent has some stuff on board, this allows us to stun a card on play and on attack, essentially stopping 2 different attacks, which is very, very strong, also being a 10k. We have 2 of the Golden Frieza Double Strikers for one of our boss monsters, just allowing us to, again, lock something down, but also swing Double Strike, just allowing us to pressure from 2. 2 of the Golden Freeze's secret rares. This is going to be for our matchups later on in the game. This deck is definitely built to go a little bit later into the game, and this allows us to stop our opponent from playing big battle cards, right? Anything that's played 5 or more can played in rest mode, and then we can KO a card on play that's in rest mode as well. 4 of the Bibbidi, this is just your super combo here, which this also, if I'm not mistaken, should search out. It does not. No, it's an evil wizard. Never mind. Thought this was a wicked soul for some reason. 2 turn into candies to allow us for a little bit extra draw power and some 15k power boosts. 2 evil explosions for some extra defense. I guess, you know, just removing cards on the board. 2 of the field spells just to make sure that we see one. And then 3 of the energy absorptions. Again, just giving us another card that can lock something down and also draw us a card. So this is the list, pretty easy template. We used basically the entire archetype from the new set and just added in a few extra cards here. I think the proper way of building this deck is making sure you're at least running enough of these cards. Some of the cuttable cards, if you're not really a fan of them, could be this Deborah here. You can get rid of this guy. He can easily be replaced by the blue Vegeta SR from set 2. The Yakon card here and the Poi Poi are very good because they are blockers, but these cards can be switched out for other things if you find them to be more useful. I just like them because they are playable off the leader, and that just gives me a little extra playability when I'm trying to do this, when I'm trying to survive that turn 4, turn 5 once I'm already awoken. So that is the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. As always, make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys do, and I'll see you guys in the next Fusion World video.